When people think about U.S. aircraft carriers, the first image that usually comes to mind is the sheer size of these floating fortresses cities at sea that carry thousands of sailors, dozens of aircraft, and the ability to project power anywhere in the world. But what often gets overlooked are the weapons that actually protect these vessels and make them such formidable tools of war. Beyond the jets and strike aircraft that launch from their decks, the carriers themselves are equipped with layers of defensive and offensive systems designed to keep them alive in the most hostile environments imaginable. These are not just pieces of steel bolted to a ship. They are the product of decades of research, trial, and combat experience, all engineered to create one of the most deadly platforms afloat today. Let's start with what is often described as the last line of defense, the Phalanx Close-In Weapon System, or CIWS. To the untrained eye, it looks like a small, white, robotic turret with a 6-barreled Gatling gun sticking out of it, almost like R2-D2 with a cannon. But what it really is a rapid-fire, radar-guided gun system capable of unleashing 4,500 rounds per minute of depleted uranium or tungsten shells. Its purpose is straightforward yet critical. Destroy incoming threats like anti-ship missiles, drones, or even small, fast attack boats before they can make contact with the carrier. The CIWS operates almost entirely autonomously, using radar to track threats and engage them faster than a human could ever react. In practice, it forms a protective bubble around the carrier, filling the sky with a wall of metal when needed. What makes it unique is not just its firepower, but its role in layered defense. The CIWS is the absolute last chance to stop something that has slipped through all other defenses. And for that reason, its reliability is legendary. Moving outward from that last line, you find the RIM-162 Evolved Sea Sparrow Missile, better known as E. This is a medium-range surface-doer missile designed to intercept threats before they ever get close. The ESSM is compact enough to be loaded in large numbers, often launched from vertical launch systems or even box launchers. It can engage incoming missiles, traveling at supersonic speeds, low-flying aircraft trying to slip under radar coverage, or even fast-maneuvering drones. Its speed is blistering, reaching Mach 4, and its guidance is highly agile, able to adjust mid-flight to track evasive targets. For the carrier, ESSM is a shield that extends miles away, ensuring the ship isn't forced to rely only on close-in defenses. One of its biggest selling points is how it integrates into the Navy's broader combat system, the Aegis, and cooperative engagement capability. Networks, meaning it can use radar data from other ships or aircraft to lock onto threats the carrier itself may not directly see. That turns the ESSM into part of a shared defense web, multiplying its effectiveness. Beyond missiles designed for air threats, the carriers also employ the RIM-116 Rolling Airframe Missile, or RAM. At first glance, RAM might look like a smaller cousin to the ESSM, but its role is distinct. It's specifically engineered to counter modern anti-ship cruise missiles, the kind of weapon adversaries designed to skim just above the water at high speeds, making them extremely hard to detect and stop. The RAM uses an infrared homing seeker, combined with radar to home in on the missile-less heat and radar signature. What makes it so deadly is its speed over Mach 2, and its ability to be fired in quick succession, creating a blanket of defensive coverage around the carrier. It's also lightweight and compact, so carriers can carry significant numbers of them without sacrificing space for other systems. In many ways, RAM is a specialized hunter, tuned to go after one of the most dangerous categories of threats a carrier could face. Of course, one of the most powerful assets on an aircraft carrier, ISNTA missile system bolted to the deck, but the aircraft themselves, the FA-18E and FA-18F Super Hornets, are still the workhorses of U.S. Navy carrier aviation. They aren't just fighter jets. They are multi-role aircraft capable of air-to-air combat, precision strike, electronic warfare, and reconnaissance. Armed with AIM-1 2OM ROMs, AIM-9 X Sidewinders, JDAM precision-guided bombs, and a GM-8 8HA armed missiles for taking out enemy radar. The Super Hornets turn the carrier into a floating airbase capable of projecting lethal force hundreds of miles away. Their advanced radar systems, combined with refueling capability, mean they can cover vast distances and strike targets before they ever pose a direct threat to the ship. What makes them particularly important in the context of carrier defense is that they form the first line of offensive engagement, neutralizing threats at long range before missiles or aircraft ever get near the protective envelope of ESSM or RAM, alongside the Super Hornets. The EA-18G Growler plays a critical role. This is the Navy's premier electronic warfare aircraft, also carrier-based, and its weapon isn't traditional bombs or missiles, but the ability to blind, jam, and disrupt enemy radar and communications. Imagine a missile battery onshore preparing to fire at a carrier group. Before the launch button is ever pressed, a Growler can already be jamming its radar, confusing its guidance systems, or even feeding it false data. This ability to wage electronic warfare is every bit as deadly as kinetic weapons because it prevents enemies from ever getting off a successful shot. More recently, the introduction of the F-35C Lightning II has added a whole new level of capability to carriers. This stealth fighter isn't just about sneaking past radar. It's a sensor fusion powerhouse, able to collect, analyze, and share massive amounts of battlefield data with other aircraft and ships in real time. That makes the F-35C not only a strike aircraft with precision-guided munitions and advanced air-to-air missiles, but also a flying command and control node. Its stealth design allows it to strike targets deep inland, well beyond the reach of most defensive systems, while its advanced radar and electronic systems extend the carrier's ability to detect and neutralize threats at extreme distances. In a modern naval fight, information is as much a weapon as missiles or guns, and the F-35C gives carriers that edge. Another aspect often forgotten is the role of unmanned aircraft, like the MQ-25 Stingray, which is being integrated into carrier air wings. While its primary mission right now is aerial refueling, extending the range of fighters, its future applications include reconnaissance and potentially strike missions. This is important because every mile of extra-ranged fighters gain pushes the carrier further from danger, allowing it to operate safely while still striking adversaries. Carriers also feature advanced radar and sensor suites that, while not weapons in the traditional sense, make every missile and aircraft more effective. The NSPY-6 radar system being rolled out across the fleet is capable of tracking hundreds of targets simultaneously, from small drones to ballistic missiles across vast distances. Combined with cooperative engagement capability, where multiple ships and aircraft share radar data seamlessly, it turns a carrier group into a single, integrated defensive network. This means that even if a carrier doesn't directly detect an incoming missile, another ship might, and the carrier can still fire its defensive weapons, as if it had seen the target itself. That kind of integration is a force multiplier, ensuring there are no blind spots. Looking at the design elements of these weapons, one thing that stands out is redundancy and layering. No single weapon is expected to protect the carrier alone. Instead, threats are engaged at multiple stages. Aircraft like F-35s and Super Hornets engage threats hundreds of miles away. ESSM and RAM-handled threats at medium ranges. The CIWS mops up anything that slips through. This layered approach dramatically increases survival odds, because an enemy missile has to pass through multiple rings of defense, each with a high chance of success. Another selling point is adaptability. Systems like RAM and ESSM are constantly upgraded with new seekers, faster processors, and improved guidance. Aircraft get software updates that expand their capabilities without needing entirely new hardware. This ensures that the weapons on a carrier don't just remain static. They evolve with the threat environment. That's vital when adversaries are constantly developing faster or more maneuverable missiles designed to overwhelm defenses. Performance aspects go beyond raw speed or firepower. For example, the CIWS isn't just about shooting fast. It's about precision and autonomy. ESSM isn't just fast. It's networked and cooperative. The F-35C isn't just stealthy. It's a flying data hub. Each weapon or system is part of a broader ecosystem designed to function together seamlessly. That is what makes a carrier so deadly. It's not one weapon standing alone, but dozens of interlocking systems, each covering the weaknesses of the others. Even logistical elements play into this. Carriers can store and reload large numbers of missiles, and their aircraft can be rearmed and refueled rapidly to maintain constant sortie rates. The sheer size of the vessel means redundancy is built into everything, from multiple power plants to layers of armor protection. This makes the carrier not just powerful, but resilient, capable of taking damage and continuing to fight. When discussing unique aspects, the sheer mobility of a carrier adds to the power of its weapons. Unlike a fixed land base, a carrier can move at speeds over 30 knots, repositioning itself to avoid threats or to bring its aircraft within range of targets. Its mobility complicates enemy targeting, and when combined with its layered defenses, it makes the idea of successfully striking a carrier daunting even for peer adversaries. What ties all of this together is doctrine, the way the US Navy trains and operates with these weapons. Carrier strike groups aren't just the carrier alone, but a fleet of escorting destroyers, cruisers, and submarines, each with their own weapons like Tomahawk cruise missiles and Aegis air defense systems. Together, they create overlapping shields and offensive capabilities. But at the center of it all is the carrier. And the weapons it carries directly and indirectly make it the most feared naval platform afloat today.